$WARD nigga. NAYIMED.
Back in this be like a second pregnancy. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. My name is Nayim. I am your host. Long time no talk, so let's talk. Normani has found herself, Normani and her team and the label, have found themselves on the receiving end of the wrath of a songwriter that is saying that she didn't know that she was on the album until she saw a tweet on the internet because she hadn't listened to the album yet. The business wasn't done and everything that's basically everybody always says. And then all these other writers come out and start talking about, man, I didn't know this until I seen this. And we got to really have a hard 100% complete conversation about how songwriters are moving in this day and age, because I'm gonna be for real with it. I'm completely disgusted with most people's behavior. Now, people will want to come at me like they usually do when I talk about the system and how the only way that you're going to be able to beat these systems is if you create your own system. But we'll get to creating your own system in a second, because this right here is going to continue to happen, because we know that the songwriter, when you go to participate in somebody else's stuff and you don't have the leverage, or you didn't command the respect. Again, we'll get to that more towards the end, but we know the songwriter is the least paid, the last paid, the most disrespected, the most forgotten, the most tossed around, the most used and abused when it comes to the process of building these artists and dealing with these labels, especially at the label, a dime a dozen. But when do writers take responsibility for how they handle in their business? When are you, as a writer, anyone, it doesn't matter who you are, big, small, especially when you're working with these major labels who they don't respect nothing but business, because to me, business is like doing good business is a form of respect. Anything that's not good business is disrespect to me. When do you take personal accountability for staying on top of your business? Because how many times can the same stuff happen before you say, you know what, I'm tapping out of that? I want to walk y'all through this in the most logical, sensible way where you can just reference this back and just listen to what I'm saying. Does anybody know how McDonald's came to be in this day and age? If you don't, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be as brief as I can while giving you as much detail. So when the McDonald's we know today, when they first started out, it was the McDonald's Brothers, and they had a hamburger stand in San Bernardino, and then they had a couple other stores they had franchised out in other places in other states. Somebody from somewhere else, Ray Kroc, who made the McDonald's Corporation, he heard about them. And because he was selling milkshake machines. And they called and they ordered like 8. Business was slow for Ray Kroc. They called and ordered 8 milkshake machines, right? He called them and was like, is this a mistake? Who orders, this many milkshake machines? And then it was like, it's not a mistake. Actually, double the order. We got to go. Click. He drives out there. He didn't go out there with the milkshake machines, which he should have took them. But he drives all the way from Missouri to California. He got on the map. It was like route, whatever it was, 66, whatever. He drove all the way out to California to see them because he just couldn't believe that some random restaurant in California needed all these milkshake machines. This is like, he's a serial entrepreneur. So it's like he's doing all these things, trying to make this money. He got a wife, all this stuff going on. He gets out there and he sees that they have created this whole system, right? They created, it's called the Speedy system, and everybody uses it today. They created this system where back then the restaurants was you dine in and it was a bunch of heavy, like real dishes, plates and real forks and real spoons and all these things. And people was getting lobsters and all this other stuff. They had a bunch of junk on the menu that they realized they cut it down to, and this is the McDonald's Brothers, they cut it down to 20% of their menu that was making 80% of the money. So they cut it down to fries, milkshakes, hamburgers or hamburger with cheese or something like this. Like it was only a couple things that you can get off the menu. They didn't allow you to eat in. They didn't allow you to, you just walked up to the menu. They put your food in the bag. They give it to you. You can eat it on the go. You can eat it anywhere. He saw this and he was intrigued by this and he wanted to be a part of it. So he was like, look, I didn't come out here to bring you no milkshake machines. I came out here to learn your system because this is amazing and I want a part of it. This is you in the music industry. You come in and you see something big and bright and oh my God, I want to be a part of it and it's so cool, but you don't know nothing about it. What Ray Kroc ended up doing was he ended up working for them and being able to be in charge of like franchising. So he was doing all of the business because they didn't want to franchise at first. He was running a couple stores and he was like, come on, franchise it, man. Franchise it. And they was like, okay, you can franchise it, but you can do it on our terms. I want you to follow me because this is going to make complete sense when we get to the end and we start diving deep into how this applies to the music business. They said, okay, you can franchise it out, but you have to do it by what we say you got to do. So they gave him a contract. So he was going out and the McDonald's Brothers was leasing. I think it was leasing, but they was buying the land and leasing it. And then the franchisees could come in and they would have to give most of their profits over to them. And they owned the store. They didn't have a lot of franchises at the moment. When Ray Kroc got in there, he was doing this, and the first riff they had was Ray noticed that people wasn't really making no money like that because he wasn't really making no money like that. And they only had a couple franchises at the moment. He introduced the instant milkshake because that would drive down the cost of the refrigeration that people couldn't really afford. And they, and McDonald's had this whole thing back then that the ice cream and stuff had to be real for the milkshake. They don't sell instant mix and stuff. When Ray Kroc was like, well, we're going to do it anyway. Because there's steps in there where it's just like they go back and forth about it. But he's like, we're going to do it anyway. We're all the way out here. You can't stop us. You can't do nothing about it. Click, hang up the phone. Then they move into like, they have a big meeting and they're just like, okay, we'll get rid of that. Ray decides that, okay, I see that they don't want us to make no money. They call themselves McDonald's. I'm going to go make my own company called the McDonald's Corporations because he went and talked to a banker or the accountant. He went and talked to somebody in the bank and they told Ray, they was like, you don't even realize what business you're in. You're not in the food business. You're in the real estate business. This is when Ray creates the McDonald's Corporation. The brothers, they get mad at him and they're like, they're going to think that that's affiliated with McDonald's. You can't do that. That's a breach of your contract. He was like, oh, no, it's not. Whatever. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do me because you want to thwart me from being successful. I'm going to be successful on my own. So what Ray did was when he created the McDonald's Corporation, he was getting the loans and he was buying the land and buying the building and letting the franchisees come in, make money off the food. They was just paying him to lease the building and lease the merchandise, lease the marketing and all that stuff. Cause that's how franchises work. Usually nowadays they will own that, but he owned the land. So he turned himself into a real estate company for the franchisees so he can make money because he was damn near homeless, like almost getting evicted with him and his wife, and he had to make it shake. So he went off and branched off on his own to make it shake. And now the franchises is just blowing up. They building them from scratch. Ray picked the location picked the location of the McDonald's so they could build and go wherever they wanted to go. And you didn't have no say if you wanted to be a franchisee. And now people is making his money. He brought the instant mix and stuff back. Skipping all the little, changes to McDonald's and stuff in the middle. It got to the point where Ray Kroc had so many franchises and he was so big that the McDonald's brothers could not compete with what he basically came in there and took his business over and took everything away from him. They end up going to court. McDonald's Brothers versus Ray Kroc in the McDonald's Corporation. Because now he's so big, I can just sue you and keep you in court, and you won't have no say. You can't beat me. I'm more powerful than you. I'm more successful than you. You had a beautiful idea, and I came in here and I took your idea from you. You can't do nothing about it because you, when there was holes in your security, you didn't tighten up. You didn't update the program or nothing. McDonald's Brothers, they go back and forth for a little while, and they say, you know what? Give me XYZ amount of money. Let's just say, because I don't remember the exact figure, but it was, let's just say they want like 3.5 million. And they were saying, 1.5 million for each of us, $500,000 to cover the lawyer fees. And we want, and I don't remember the exact percentage, we want, 3% or 4% or 2% of your corporation. Ray in the background with his lawyer, like over his lawyer, he's like, I'm not giving them a percentage. And they said they wanted to keep their home store. And he was like, no, I want that store, and they're not getting a percentage. Ray come back to the negotiating thing because they had met in the bathroom, and he was like, you should really just take what I give you. Ray telling the McDonald's brother, one of them, you should really take what I give you because I'm too big now. You can't do nothing to me. I'm Teflon. They go back out, and Ray and the lawyer say, you can keep the home store. We are going to agree to the amount of the settlement, but we're going to have to shake hands on the percentage. And they're like, what? I'm not doing no handshake over no percentage. He was like, yeah, you need to do look, it's just, tied up in legal. We'll be stuck here for years, just giving them all these excuses and saying all of this bullshit to him. And they agree on a handshake because he promised them that they would get the percentage. Of course, obviously, they didn't get their percentage. They got their little 1.5 million for each of them, got to keep their home store. Ray ends up, and they had to take the name off. No more, they couldn't use the name McDonald's. He took everything. Ray took the likeness, took all of their business from them, right up under their feet, built another McDonald's across the street. They had to rename their restaurant to the Big M. It ended up shutting down after like a year or so, a couple years, and they never got their percentage, which would have been worth billions of dollars per year. I tell you this story because this is exactly what it is like when you decide that you want to go somewhere where you're not prepared to do business with the type of people that play dirty and do business with licks. Ray Kroc, just like you, walking into a label, not respected. And I say not respected, I'm saying not respected in the guard of you're not prepared to do real business. We all come to a crossroad where this stops being a hobby. We all come to a crossroad where this stops being a game. We all come to a point with our writing, a point with our music, a point with our art, or whatever we do, that it stops. Like, it's serious now because this is what you want to do with your life. A lot of y'all, when you decide you want to be serious and you decide you want to do something, you forget that this is the music business, not the music partners, not the music friends, not the music homeboys, not the music, partner could be business, but it's supposed to be business first. It's not the music either. Music, business. And you're not prepared to do business because you don't know how to do business. You did not decide that when it was time to do something serious with your life, that you would learn everything that you could possibly learn. The fastest way of learning, I tell my clients this all the time, the fastest way of learning what you need to learn is pay somebody who know it. You don't want to do that. So you jump into that water and you get everything taken from you, and then you want to come and huff and puff and call us crazy or expect somebody to feel bad because you entered a system that you thought that first, that system is already established. It's already its own entity. It's already its own thing. It's moving and grooving how it wants to move and groove. The reason that the music business and the music industry is exactly how it goes, because this is how it transpose across all industries. You get taken advantage of, you are a lick, you are a plate, because you are ignorant. Your ignorance is what keeps you into these situations. And it's not just, that's only the first layer. You being ignorant of what it is, and not ignorant like dumb, but you don't know what's going on. You thought you was going to go into an established place and ruin everything. I tell people this all the time. You're not going to be the spook that's set by the door. The only way to win is to build out your own thing. After you make your decision at your artist crossroad, you need to understand that the only way to be taken serious is to do good business. Point blank, period. And when I tell you that you need to be doing good business, you need to be serious. You need to be on top of all of your things. You need to know everything that's going on. You need to have people around you that are just as focused as you. You can't have people around you that's playing games. You can't have people around you talking about trust. You saw what happened with the McDonald's brothers. Trust got them out of billions. They went broke, and that was it. It was no more for them. Their dream, the thing that they love so much, and the thing that they built, and the thing that was their baby, they just allowing other random people to come in, and you thinking that you in control, but you're not staying on top of what people are doing. You're not staying on top of the business. The only way you're going to get respect is doing good business. When you make the decision that people are not going to play with me, people are not going to take advantage of me, I'm not going to allow it. I'm going to stay on top of my stuff, because this is how you get paid. I don't understand what's not clicking for the modern songwriter or the modern person that needs to be doing business. You sign these contracts, you get into these situations, and I'm not anti-label per se. What I'm saying is, y'all get over there and y'all do this stuff, and you have so much going on that you did not build your own system, so you can at least keep track of what's going on. Because see, what a lot of y'all do is you have to hold your nose and swallow whatever the situation is, because you decided that having name recognition and having fame and being attached to a famous person was more important than doing business the right way and saying what you will and what you wouldn't accept. See, they won't tell you that part. People want to stand next to Chris Brown. You want to stand next to Cardi. You want to stand next to Normani. You want to stand next to all of these people you signed a deal in. That doesn't take away from how talented you are, how good you are, because most of you guys are phenomenal, amazing artists. But you have to hold your nose and swallow whatever they put in your mouth, because that was more important than taking care of yourself. See, you're going to have to get to the point where you're okay saying no to things. You're going to have to get to the point where you're okay passing up what you think is an opportunity, because nobody's going to give you anything. This is the music business where you have to show and prove. You got there because you were obviously good at something. But the other part of getting there is because people that are willing to hold their nose and swallow whatever's put in their mouth, because they decided that the pay and all of this stuff and the business was something you put on the back burner. You know, I've heard people that I know of, multi-platinum, they'll tell you when you go into a writing session or a label hire you, or you get into these situations that are above sea level, they tell you don't bring up pay, don't bring up splits, don't bring that stuff up, just do the work and hope for the best. Like, I'm literally, this is what has been told to me, not just pulling this out of a hat somewhere. And I think that that's wrong. I think that you have to make the decision if you want to be able to take care of your family and live a good or decent life, or do you want to be famous? Do you want to get all the opportunity, but you look good to us? You look good flossing and flexing and, yeah, I'm doing this and, yeah, I'm doing that and I'm over here and I'm over there, but you don't have anything to show for it behind the scenes, so you're empty. You put the front on for us, but you're empty because you have to spend all your time fighting for your rights when your rights should have been the first thing when you walked in the door. Because see, they can only continue to play like this, and they can only continue to perpetuate this disgusting, despicable system that they have because y'all continue to do the work without handling the business first. I saw where she was talking about, oh, these is people that I knew. Let me tell you something. We live in a system where if it's not written down, it did not happen. We're not talking about passing down your grandma's potato salad recipe. We're not talking about the legend of your uncle. We're talking about law and order, and how if you don't have your paperwork in order, you might as well don't have nothing at all. It doesn't matter. If it's not written down, it did not happen. So the fact that you're doing all of this work, especially at such a high level, that's NBA, right? Maybe in a major songwriter is NBA level work. You're doing all of that, and you want people to feel bad because, oh, this is what we deal with all the time. No, this is what you deal with all the time because you signed up to be a part of something and you thought it was going to be different because it was you, not knowing that, again, they already have their thing in place. They're already taking advantage of people. People is licks, plate, food, whatever you want to call it. You're that because you decided you wanted to be a part of an unfair, unjust, unrighteous system instead of building the leverage up and being able to get what you deserve. Nobody should ever be playing with your name about your check, your credits, nothing, because that's how you eat. That's how you, one win fuels the next win. A victory fuels the next victory. And guess what? Defeats also fuel defeats, and losses also fuel losses. When are you going to decide that you want to do the right thing? I don't even deal with people who do bad business. I've walked away from plenty of things. I don't care because I'm not an idol worshiper. I have no need to belong. Like, that's not in me. I don't care. Just like where y'all really mess up is the whole holding your nose thing and trying to, oh man, if I do this, it's going to propel me to the next thing. That only works if you have your business together. Doing of you, like, I'm not doing favors for labels. They're rich, mega rich, more money than the treasury can print. I'm not doing them a favor. Why? Why would I do you a favor for what? You want my work, it's not free. That's self-respect. I feel like is you disrespect yourself when you don't take your work serious enough where you put the boundaries up for what you want. We're going to have to talk about like negotiating and how to negotiate, because there should be some non-negotiables when you're dealing with your business, even if you're signed. But that's the thing. A lot of y'all sign and be a part of publishing deals and all of these things, and you allow other people to speak for you. You've allowed other people to negotiate business on your behalf. You've allowed other people to, just like Ray Kroc with McDonald's, y'all allow, the McDonald's brothers allow somebody to come in and negotiate business on their behalf. But what you don't know is they're negotiate business on their personal behalf under the guise that you think is working out for you, and you wake up one day and everything is going. Or you wake up one day and stuff's not right. And then they just drag you along and drag you along. I'm just trying to figure out, if this is how you feed your family, why you not taking this serious? Because it's not serious to me when you playing with your livelihood. Unless you don't care about your livelihood. Because that's the thing too. You know, a lot of people, you know, again, a lot of people are hobbyists. A lot of people are you know, you could be a high level hobbyist. You don't care about getting paid. But most of us, if not all of us, we do it because we want to get our just desserts. You have to build your own system. You have to be okay with saying no. You have to be okay with walk away. You're not going to beat them. Why? Because it's going to be another person that's willing to walk through the door just like you was and work for free or work for nothing. Like literally, you don't have to give them anything on the back end or the back half. Nothing. The days of feeling bad for people doing bad business is completely done. We have to stop this. The only way that this, like, you can wave your fist and do that, and that's very nice. But if all you're gonna do is get out here and stomp the yard, and you need to pay us, and you need to do better by us, and we need to get this and that, why is that not a part of your non-negotiable? You're good at what you do. You obviously a lot of y'all just need to learn how to do business. So that is something else. It's just like, bro, there's a lot of things about your music career you should not put off on other people and not get other people to do until you have an understanding of what their role is supposed to be. You don't you're giving everything that you made. You're giving your children's birthright away because you are failing to understand what this is. Suffering in silence. I'm confused as to why more people aren't coming out and be speaking like I'm speaking. And you can say, oh, you don't do this. You don't know what I've done. Or you can look up what I've done. But I tell you one thing, don't nobody owe me money. Not a dime. There's not a dime, a penny, a half cent, a red cent floating around out here nowhere that's supposed to be mine that I don't collect. Because I don't play like that. It's a form of disrespect when somebody think they can play with you, but it's gonna continue to happen. That's why I say you can't beat it. You ain't gonna be no spook because it's always gonna be somebody that's gonna come through and be able to sweep up everything, or you just doing this, and y'all really be so embarrassed by the time you realize you about to be on the next episode of Unsung because you spend all your time lying to us instead of just telling us what's going on and fixing it, because this can be fixed if y'all get off y'all back, stand up. I was gonna say no disrespect, but I don't care because it's not gonna change unless you change. You're not gonna get what you want out of life by laying down on your back and being a whore for nothing. You're the bottom bitch to a record label, taking all your music and giving it away to these people. That's got it's like the Party Next Door and Drake thing. That work song was for him, and they took that from him. And yeah, they broke him off some, but it's just like, bro, that was supposed to be my hit record. Once you decide to go to level 2, level 1 is, you're infatuated with it and you got some traction and they found you or you found them, or somebody that put you on to help you get a placement or this or there. Level 2 and beyond, it's all contingent on how you do business and your organization and your logistics and how you get that done. Because if you on level 2 and you'll get passed over just because of being disorganized. You'll get passed over and looked over and tossed in the corner, or I could treat you however I want to treat you because you don't take your business serious. You are a business. You're a songwriter, but you're in the songwriting business. You need to talk to people who know how to run business, who know how to navigate business, who specialize in winning and specialize in not letting people play with them. But again, last time I'm going to say this, y'all rather be famous and known and be able to stand next to people and say you was here and you was there just so you have a position of seniority around, your peers, but you might as well go work at Popeyes. It ain't gonna change until you actually change it and do something about it. What are you gonna do about it? Complain every time something happens, complain every time, and that's just the system, and I've been dealing with it for years. I'm not dealing with nothing. No, I'm not doing that. I would rather have peace of mind and get the little bit that I'm getting than beg for what is supposed to be owed to me. But that all falls back on your ignorance. Don't be like these people. I know that it's the allure of having the hit records and working with the stars and writing the best song that all these people will be able to hear. But look what these people go through. Look what these people... See, a blogger can't tell you this stuff because they don't know. They're talking from the perspective of a spectator, not even a fan, because they're not even fans of these people. They can't tell you how the system goes. They can't tell you how to beat the system. You're going to have a hard time. It's easy to beat the system, but you're going to have a hard time beating the symptoms. You have to put the work in. You have to build yourself up so you feel good about turning down things that don't go in your favor, because I'm not gonna let you disrespect me. That's really what this comes down to. That's how this thing changes for songwriters and producers and pretty much anybody that's not at the tip top. I don't do business with people who do bad business because I don't do bad business with people, period. If I owe you anything, you don't ever have to worry about me paying late, coming late, nothing. Because this is how business is done. Talk to people who know more than you. Stop thinking you don't know everything. And then you get mad because people laugh, but people laugh because it's silly. Like, it's silly. It's just silly. It's silly to me. And I know what you're going through. And I know about, you wanting to do that, but that's your own pride and that's your own, you put yourself in these situations. Enough. We have enough examples of people doing going through the bad stuff to say, you know what? I'm gonna opt out of that. I'm good. But y'all idol worshipers, you wanna. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm gonna stop because. It's silly to me. Like it's so silly to me, the same stuff, because just turn yourself up and they ain't gonna have no choice but to come and respect you. Because if you come and you disrespect me, you'll never get another chance to do anything with me. I don't want, but that's me. That's where my bar is at. I don't have that thing of I just gotta work with this person, and I don't give a fuck if I talk to or work with any of these people. I don't give a fuck. Would prefer to actually leave me the fuck alone. Because if you coming to me with some bullshit, I'm taking that as disrespect. Because what do you mean work for free? Like, I'm not a fucking volunteer. This isn't a charity. This is a business. Like, people got to stand up and get some morals about them and get some integrity about their work. Otherwise, it's not going to be no different.
Nayimedward $, nigga. Nayimedward.